I am not a born leader, but by the time I was 13 years old, I had seen it all. Hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, starvation, disease. Haiti never seemed to catch a break. So when the dead started to rise and panic overtook my adopted home of New Orleans, I was ready to rise. My neighbors were scared, but they were also resilient. All they needed was a voice to rally around. And in a moment of pure passion, a moment charged with a desperate drive to make certain we all survived, I took the lead, and they listened. But those first few days were pure chaos. So much loss, and yet we were able to gain a foothold in the Ninth Ward. We put our collective minds to work, set up a scavenge system that was both safe and fruitful. Word started getting out. If you wanted to survive, go find Mama and her people. But soon, our community had outgrown the capacity of our perimeter. A decision had to be made. Start turning others away, or venture forth and establish a new home that could support every lost soul who found their way to our doorstep. I think you can guess what decision I made. The tower will always stand. Mama. Our battles with the dead in those early days were vicious and exhausting. We had zero control, and the fiends were everywhere. If our community was going to survive and grow, we had to radically rethink our approach. Our home and the area immediately around it needed to be entirely within our control. With that in mind, and while I stood atop one of our rickety barricades, I looked to the skyline and saw the promised land. A silhouette against the purple and orange of God's dazzling canvas. 45 stories tall, calling to me. There is our new home, I thought. A place where we can flourish on our own terms. In 2 days, I had our entire community organized and ready to march. 48 desperate but motivated souls, prepared to abandon what we had worked so hard to secure for the hope of a brighter future. The journey was through hell itself. So thick with the dead, it took us 3 sleepless days and nights to travel just a single mile to the tower gates. But by God, we made it. Not one life lost. We did it as one determined heart, one determined soul. But as we stood there, gazing up at our future, filled with the hope of what it could become, we knew that the work was far from over. The tower was a tomb. Each floor of the 45 infested with the dead. One final challenge that we, the founders of our glorious community, were resolved to overcome by any means necessary. Floor by floor we fought. 5 bloody and costly weeks to clear the entire building. By the time our climb was through and the building was secure, our numbers were reduced to 36. 12 brave and beautiful souls lost, but their sacrifices were not in vain. We had our home, our tower. Word of our success spread like wildfire. Every day, more and more survivors found their way to our gates, and we welcomed them with arms wide open. We had the room to grow, and we grew quickly. In those early days, we were unified, and as a result, we were prosperous. One collective mind, one collective vision. They allowed us to regain control of our lives. But as the population grew, Dissent found its way into the collective and reared its ugly head at the most difficult of times. And what did we do? Did we crumble? Did we change our course? No. We persevered, as we have from the beginning. We knew that our future remained bright if we stayed committed to what brought us to our tower in the first place. So let us not allow all the noise to knock us back down to the ground from the heights we have already achieved. Let us continue to climb together. We must cut loose those who burden us with their petty squabbles, their poisonous minds, and their freeloading ways. Trust in Mama when I say we are better off without them. Have I ever steered you wrong?